The last crusade of the medieval era is about to take place. Can the coalition of European forces repel the Ottomans from Europe, or will this be their downfall? Hey, how's it going? My name is Jackie Fish and welcome back to another medieval 1212 online battle. Today I have an absolutely glorious one for you because this is a 4 vs 3. We've got a ton of factions and it's just going to be absolutely exciting because we've got so many men on the battlefield as well. Over 10,000 soldiers in the Allied Coalition European force going up against just under 8,000 Ottomans. So it's going to be absolutely mad. You can already see the Ottoman general is marching his way down the battle lines, rallying the soldiers in all his glory, you know, preparing them for battle, and that does look absolutely epic. I also very much love the way that they have formed up in this battle. This is going to be based off the Battle of Nicopolis, I think is how you pronounce it, which ended in a European rout. The Ottomans absolutely demolished them, ended up dismantling the Bulgarian Empire, or the Second Bulgarian Empire, and basically cementing their foothold. And this was kind of, I think, the second last real crusade against the Ottomans. There was one, I think, 40 years later, the Crusade of Varna, but besides that, this was kind of the last unified European kind of allied group coming together to try and repel the Ottomans. So yeah, it was an extremely crucial battle and definitely defined, you know, history for the next couple hundred years, and allowed the Ottomans to really seep into Europe and, you know, take their strength further, and yeah, made them really powerful. And it was also pretty crazy, you know, that this battle contained Hungarians, Croatians, Bulgarians, Wallachians, French, English, Burgundians, and Germans. So this was a real, you know, unified effort by the Europeans and I guess the Catholic world. So if we take a look at who's playing in this battle, we do have a French force, we have a Bulgarian force, I believe, a Burgundy force, and I believe a Wallachian force has made its way to the Battle of the yeah, this is Wallachia and Hungarian, sorry. So French, Burgundy, Hungarian, and we have, yeah, Wallachian. So why don't we go ahead and just take a quick look at a few notable units whilst the armies are moving into position. So on the front line, the French do have some of their gunners. These guys are going to be stationed in 3 battalions, and they're going to be advanced forward, supported by the heavy late sergeants, which again, I love the French shields. They just look so awesome. They basically cover the entire body of the French soldiers, so going to be very useful. Behind them, we do have some of the dismounted Burgundy knights, heavily armored and ready for combat. So this kind of, you know, flank of the French is supported by Burgundy troops and is very strong. In the center, they're going to be using some of their dismounted French knights with some more dismounted dismounted Burgundy knights just behind them. And then on the far right flank, we do have the Burgundy cavalry supported by some Pavese crossbowmen. And in the forest, it's going to be kind of similar stuff. They do have some mercenary Swiss pikes that have been brought to bear this day, with some of their awesome Grand SC. I'm not going to pronounce that, but basically, I think this is like the Scots Guard. And they look absolutely amazing, so I am a big fan of that. And I love this music as well. Massive shout out to the scripter working on all the stuff for 1212. It's absolutely awesome. And listening to this music is just, yeah, it gets you hyped for the battle, that's for sure. Then over on the Ottoman side, we do have some mercenary Genoan crossbowmen. And, you know, gold is worth its weight in soldiers. We then also have some Serbian infantry, which is going to be making up the front line for the Ottomans. I do love the upgraded Serbian infantry. They look absolutely amazing. Then for the front line, we do have some of the Sultan of Rum's heavy infantry, the Ottomans, making their way up with some, I guess these are medium tiers, but yeah, they're definitely going to act as a pretty good shield. As we go further in the forest, we can see some of their heavy melee infantry, which are also archers. This is kind of one of the real good strengths of the Ottomans, is that they have the ability to have some heavy archers, but can also do a ton of damage in melee combat. So it's kind of like the best of both worlds. We also then have, that's going to basically make up all the front line, and then over on the other right flank as well, we do have more of these spearmen as well. Again, going to be, you know, a pretty, you know, nice anchor for them to keep that flank secure. Then as we go further back, we have an absolutely humongous cavalry force waiting in the forest. I imagine all these guys are currently hidden, but yeah, there is a lot of cataphracts back here, a lot of horse archers, which I imagine are going to pour out of the forest and cause the crusading forces a pretty big issue. as they move further forward. Yeah, there's so much horseback here. We even have some Serbian cavalry as well with their more European-style lancers. So far, this battle is shaping up to be absolutely insane. You can see both sides have kind of formed their battle lines, and I guess we can just get this bad boy started. The battle has begun and the crusading forces are advancing forward their cavalry along with their front line, closing the distance on the Ottoman formation. However, the Ottomans are going to go ahead and mirror this, launching some cavalry out of the woods, and this will be the first kind of glimpse the Crusaders really get of the Ottoman cavalry, which is, I think, very much superior to the ones that they have brought to bear this day. I imagine getting these guns into combat is going to be a pretty smart idea. However, you know, they're going to be going up against a lot of archers because, as we saw in the pre-battle, all this front line has, you know, these are heavy infantry, but they all have archer capabilities, so they can just suppress the enemy position extremely well. Especially, it's going to be brutal for these dismounted French knights as they try and get, you know, close into distance onto the Ottoman line, and there's just hundreds of arrows, like a hail of arrows just coming at them constantly. It's going to be pretty brutal. The Ottomans continuing to just kind of scare them out of the cavalry, and oh, here we go. Yeah, a huge show of force right now as the Ottomans pour their cavalry out by this right flank to go ahead and, you know, kind of mirror into the Burgundy cavalry. I mean, they are slightly outnumbered right now. There's only 2 horses over here, but there's a lot of infantry closing the distance. And oh, baby, a massive cavalry assault has come out of the woods. And I don't think the French knights are really well prepared for this. They're going to quickly try and form their formation, a shield wall. But oh my god, just look at this assault right now. With arrow fire coming in, this battle has just become explosive. More French knights and Burgundy knights are trying to get to this fight, but right now, the Ottoman cavalry is just running amok. That was an amazing cavalry charge, and that goes to show the distinguished, you know, the differences between braced infantry and unbraced infantry. They really just got absolutely smashed, and there was no cavalry to go ahead and answer that charge. The Ottomans did lose a decent amount in their general's bodyguard, but besides that, the French got absolutely smashed in that battle to initiate this engagement, and all this time they're being shot by the front line. Or I guess the reserve line. All these heavy archers are unloading their shots. The French, though, have finally managed to close the distance against the Serbians, charging in on them. And, I mean, they've taken such heavy casualties that it's going to be hard-pressed to break these battle lines. That was a really nice cavalry charge there by the Ottomans, just going in full force and really hampering the French battle line. You can see they've lost some pretty heavy units right now. And their entire battle line, you know, even if that didn't do much damage, it basically messed up the cohesive attack that they had planned. Right now, you know, the French battle line is attacking in drips and drabs, and that's going to really benefit the Ottomans. We do have a cavalry charge here as the Ottomans charge in. However, they are going to be met by the heavy French infantry, or French cavalry, sorry, and they're going to be trying to pin them in place and take them out. They're actually going to be falling back just because of the sheer weight of these Ottoman numbers. And the Ottomans are going to be trying to get a good charge in, even after taking a gunfight. Oh, that was a brutal volley there by the gunners. However, they do now get engaged upon them. But I imagine the French knights have fallen back to protect them. That's exactly what they've done, and they should be able to save the majority of these gunners. And that's one of the cavalry units taken out. So we're seeing quite a few of these French horses being victorious here on the battlefield, but, you know, the depleted units from the French assault are now, you know, breaking unless they are quickly supported. We do have the forces of the Hungarians and the Wallachians advancing forward, though, slowly to this battle. You know, they haven't given the order to assault right now, so they're going to be approaching their way forward to reinforce this after the French assault. And I really love the way they've created this battle. This is cool, you know. This actually kind of feels like a proper battle, you know, where the reserves are laying in wait for the next assault. Like, this is just awesome. So definitely do more of this, please, please, please. And a massive shout out as well to the guys who sent in this battle, because yeah, these have been really awesome lately. So yeah, keep them coming, please, please, please. I mean, if you guys are enjoying these type of battles and you want to see more of them where, you know, there's interesting scenarios, historical battles, different lineups, formations, then do let me know in the comments down below. And obviously, if this video does pretty well, you know, if we get 400 likes on this video, I'm sure they'll see that and be like, yeah, people really like to see this, so let's do more. So on the left flank, we're having more cavalry engagements, and I think this is where the French knights will start to excel, being that, you know, probably some of the best horsemen in Europe. Their nobility are going to be very, very beneficial. However, they are losing their gunners, and oh baby, I was talking about massive cavalry charges. We are getting one right now. The entire Crusading cavalry has advanced onto this right flank. I mean, I say that, there's also loads on the left flank as well being pushed forward. So the cavalry is moving into position. We got some, you know, contingents of heavy infantry in the center still fighting bravely against the Ottoman battle line. But this battle is going to be decided on all this cavalry. You have some of the Wallachian horse archers trying to aid in this fight, and then just a massive movement of cavalry on this right flank. I mean, just look how many knights are here. I love the Hungarian knights as well. They're some of my favorite in the mod. A big cavalry push on this right flank. Going to be looking to cave in the Ottoman flank and envelop them, which is a very sensible idea. You have like 8 units of horses here. They're just going to try and push in and try and keep the Ottoman front line engaged. However, the Ottomans are also going to be mirroring them with some of their own horses, but they are going to be outnumbered. So if the Crusading forces can just collide into that and just try and break them, finding gaps, then they're going to be very beneficial. As well as that, they are starting to win the infantry engagement over here as well, which is going to be absolutely huge. And now more reinforcements are turning up. We do have the Hungarian sword infantry throwing up, and it seems like the Ottomans are going to take the preemptive charge. And if they're not looking, this could be very brutal for the Hungarians, because getting that initial charge is so important, and they did manage to break a large portion of the Crusading forces. However, the charge is going to come up. The Ottomans in that triangle wedge formation. The Hungarians looking to completely envelop them with this formation, as they do have the numbers, and now they can start to come around the side, and as you can see, completely envelop the Ottoman cavalry. And it seems like the Ottoman cavalry are going to be losing this battle pretty convincingly. Some of their units already starting to break, and I think this is going to very much tell the battle, you know, if they can win this engagement, they can completely wrap around. But oh my god, so many more horses coming around. We now have the Serbian contingent of the Ottoman army being committed to this left flank with a huge cavalry engagement. Yeah, look at that. 5 more units of knights coming over here to help turn the tides. And it seems that the Ottomans have brought more infantry over to try and reinforce this area and, you know, support their own cavalry with more infantry. We do see that the entire Crusader army has been brought to bear right now. The French have been kind of pushed back, but now the Hungarian heavy infantry can move in and try and, you know, turn the tides of this frontline battle that is going pretty in favor of the Ottomans right now. The Ottomans have now committed their heavy archers as well to this engagement. You can just see that, yeah, the battle is looking pretty bad, sorry, for the European front line. However, the flanks are looking pretty interesting for them. We're having more and more cavalry being committed. God, this is just one insane cavalry engagement. And again, if we take a look at the overall battlefield, you can see that the lines themselves have been really curved in, and the Ottomans are just trying to keep that bow shape intact. I mean, this other flank, the left flank right now, looks pretty secure for them. But we do have some positions of the French gunners set up to, I guess, aid any fight. But yeah, I mean, it's really going to come down, I think, to this right flank right now. Who's going to come out on top here? It seems like the European knights are winning the day, but with the support of the Serbians now coming in, that's going to definitely help them turn the tide and at least give them a fighting chance. The Hungarians proving their worth, and now they've got more knights coming in. Yeah, they're breaking the Ottoman cavalry, even with the Serbians moving in. But this is so good right now. Even though this is just literally a unit of militia spearmen, committing this unit of spearmen to this fight is just going to, you know, help take out them extra couple horses and help pad the damage. There is a lot of crossbow fire coming in though, so we need to be very careful. And this infantry, if it can, needs to be committed to this cavalry fight, because right now they are losing this engagement. We do have the Serbian general retreating back. And really, if this cavalry can be committed over here, that would be so big for them. front lines are still heavily contested. It seems like a few units are close to breaking on both sides, to be honest. I don't think there's any clear indicator of who's going to win that. We do have a loose infantry formation, by the way. It's going to be getting countercharged by the horse archers. They're not exactly the most impactful unit, but they're still, you know, horses, which can do some pretty decent damage. There's a lot of arrow fire going in on this battle as well, trying to pick away any of the noble foot that they have. And again, a pretty big cavalry engagement. However, the Ottomans are quickly committing more infantry to this fight to go ahead and try and allow them to, you know, win in this cavalry fight. But it seems like the Ottoman cavalry, at least on this left flank, has been pretty much taken apart. Besides these last two units of a general unit, I think the Europeans have won on that far left flank. The Serbians have broken through though, and they can get a nice rear charge and try and maybe break off a few of these European horses that are still left remaining. I mean, the Hungarian king is all by himself right now. I think the Ottomans might have this right flank under control, especially if they can commit any of this infantry. They currently have some of these archers as well, aiding in the fight, adding their arrows to this any loose Crusader cavalry that they can see. And yeah, they've managed to win this with the support of the arrow fire. They're winning this. They're starting to break the Hungarian cavalry on the right flank, and this is going to be catastrophic. This is going to allow them to basically wrap up this entire battle line. And we're starting to see some pretty big routes. The Ottomans are holding firm. I honestly thought the Ottomans were in a pretty dire situation when that cavalry engagement happened. But it seems like they're managing to outmaneuver the Crusaders. And yeah, that's a massive break of knights right there that they're going to sustain to their army. And that's going to definitely hurt them. However, the balance of power is still in their favor. Numbers-wise, can we take a look at that? Is this because they just outnumber them? Is it going to show me, please? Yeah, I mean, numbers-wise, they definitely have it. And I think it's going to come pretty solely in the missile department. So if the Ottomans, which they look like they're pressing the assault right now, can kill these archers, then I think the balance power is going to turn very quickly. But it's going to be up to the Crusaders to fall back and keep kind of that distance. Saying that though, we are seeing a pretty big break over here as the forces do break forward, but the cavalry engagements are just going so poorly for the Europeans. They are just being outclassed right now. As we get another chart, no, this is not what I wanted to see. We do have some of the heavy infantry getting onto the Pavese crossbows, and all this cavalry is going to come flying around. I think that was the Hungarian general being broken right there. And now all of this Serbian and Ottoman cavalry is going to come colliding around the side and looking to focus down all these crossbows. These crossbows need to turn and start shooting this Serbian general. Or they need to try and get something back, because, yeah, right now the European forces are in a tricky situation. They have managed to corner, though, the general for the Ottomans, though. If they could kill him, that would be pretty valuable. It seems the French general has also been surrounded. He's going to be fighting to the bitter end. I don't really see a way out for him right now. The European forces are slowly starting to pick away and actually win this central melee engagement. But as you can see in the distance, cavalry is on its way. What general has died this day? I think that was maybe, I don't know, maybe that was the Wallachian general going down. But yeah, now we are having cavalry charges coming in. I mean, luckily this is Pavese, you know, crossbows, so they can actually hold the line somewhat decently. But against heavy knights, it's only going to be a matter of time until they do get cut down. This is very important right now that the rest of the crusading forces do just turn their archers, because if they can pick away at these horses as they try and, you know, come into combat, then they can maybe still bring this one back, you know. If these 4 units volley on these guys, they take out, you know, 10, 20 horses on these units, that's going to be pretty huge. The French general as well managed to survive, breaking off the cavalry. You've also got a unit of guns right now helping out, and now the French general is coming in to charge against the Ottoman infantry. And if they can cause a mass rout, maybe this French general can, you know, stir the ship into the right direction and keep the men rallied. Yeah, as you can see, all these bowmen are trying to get into range of these horses, but they're clumping up, and that's not going to be good if the cavalry charge does come in. The melee is still fierce in the center as well, as these brave Ottoman soldiers continue to hold. They have been fighting for a long time, all afternoon, these soldiers have been on the front line, whereas the Europeans have been constantly getting reinforcements from their vanguards. It seems like their quality is holding this day. With the support of the cavalry, things are looking pretty good. The French general, I think, the French general hasn't now just been completely overwhelmed. He put up a bloody good show, though. And for an Englishman to say that to a Frenchman, you know that he did a good job there. How many kills did he end up on? Can we see that? 119, that's not that many, but to be fair, he managed to try and rally the left flank pretty nicely. The French have also managed to get their gunners into the forest, which is going to be pretty deadly, able to shoot a fair amount of that, but oh my god, yeah, here we go, a huge break in the centre. I don't really know how the Ottomans managed to hold this centre, considering they were up against so much, but they did indeed, and it seems that they've managed to completely encircle this huge archer position right now. The Bavese crossbows, though, managing to repel their opponent cavalry, which is not bad. We have a pretty nice charge here by the Serbian general charging in. Apparently, they did not want me to zoom in there on that charge. They're going to be able to rear charge off against the spearmen. The spearmen should be able to, reform. And I love the hook spears that they have at their disposal, and that's going to be a big break. And I think we're going to just basically see the entire Crusader force breaking right now, as the Ottomans have annihilated this left flank. The cavalry coming in, and with the lack of general support there to help rally the men and keep them in check, the Crusaders are going to dissipate, and this battle is going to end up like it did historically, with really one of the last European efforts being wiped away. And this is going to see the fall of the Second Bulgarian Empire or Kingdom, and allow the Ottomans to secure their dominance in the area. Definitely a decisive Ottoman victory like it was historically. Yeah, they're going to come in. I wonder if there's a casualties, because I've got the Wikipedia article up at the moment. I know, very historical. Can we see, historically, how many men were lost in this battle? So these numbers are heavily disputed, apparently, but apparently the Ottomans brought around about 15,000 to 60,000. Not a big difference, right? Yeah, that's absolutely insane to bear, so they're very disputed. So probably more around about, the 20,000, 25,000 men, whereas the Europeans brought around about 16,000 men to bear in the battle. So, and apparently they're again heavily disputed, but credibly estimated. So it was a probably they had around about, the Ottomans probably had a couple thousand more men, but overall it was probably relatively similar. And apparently there was moderate casualties on the Ottoman side, including the massacre of 1,000 civilian hostages by the Crusaders the night before the battle. As always, good PR for the Crusaders, eh? And most of the Crusader army was killed or captured. And Sigismund, we know Sigismund from Kingdom Come Deliverance. That's kind of cool that he was in this battle. And 300 to 3,000 prisoners were executed. That is absolutely wild. So if we take a look at the battle itself, and once again, a massive shout out to everyone who played in this battle. More stuff like this, it's really, really good. And yeah, it was a really cool setup and set of rules and stuff to make the battle really interesting. I think people definitely want to see this more than the kind of thinner lines, for sure. So if we take a look at the kills, you can see the crossbows doing pretty good on the Hungarian side there. Cavalry, though, being dismantled by the Ottoman numbers. There was a lot of Ottoman horse in this field. The Burgundy front line doing pretty nice. We have the Wallachian archers basically getting no kills in this battle. They brought a lot as well, and unfortunately they just could not pierce the Ottoman front line. The French general as well, Rue de France, getting 121 kills, and this unit of horses as well getting over 200, which is not bad. Over on the Ottoman side of things, the Serbian general with 379 kills, and the crossbows as well doing a very, very nice job. Over on the Ottoman side of things, you can see the Ottoman general over 150 kills, 115 kills, and the cavalry doing pretty decently, 200 kills on this one. And then finally, we have 300 kills, and it's just the archers. The heavy archer infantry hybrid is just so deadly. in 1212. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this battle. If you did, be sure to drop a like and a comment down below, and I'll see you guys in the next